Can you guys hear me back there? Okay. First of all, Sarah is relatively new in her position. She's been doing it less than a year, and she's just fantastic. Like a sponge for information, quick study, passionate, and incredibly hardworking. So we're really lucky to have Sarah, and we're also really lucky to have not only the board members that are in this room, but the board that we have in general, the rest of the board members. Ryan O'Connor, the Conway Town Planner, is one of our board members. That's obviously critical. He's the one that's helping to shape the future of our town through zoning. And so it's great to have his insight and that kind of that connection between our board and the Conway Planning Board. We have a large area that we service. Conway is kind of the epicenter because Conway has the most infrastructure at the town level. They have the most staff. And so what often will happen is something will start in Conway, and then other towns will look at what's the work that's been done, and then they can apply it to their town. So what's happening in Conway right now is really critical, and this is, I think, where we can all be of assistance. And speaking of a press release, maybe a press release opportunity, the planning board that we have currently is another very hardworking board, and they're very forward-thinking, and that's really critical right now. And as the town of Conway has updated its master plan, part of that is to also take a very close look at affordable housing. And this year, this is the start of a kind of a 3-year process for the local planning board to make some really, really substantial changes to our zoning ordinances to make it more attractive for developers to come in and build affordable housing. It's a very challenging problem that we face. One, we don't have a lot of land. Our infrastructure is pretty tight here. Infrastructure is really critical, water and sewer, when it comes to building this stuff. And so it's a huge challenge. There are a lot of pieces to the puzzle here to get something done, because generally speaking, developers aren't doing this pro bono. They have to make a profit. Would they be willing to make a little bit lesser profit? Possibly, with some encouragement, but they have to make their profit. And so you look at like an Avesta, which did the apartment-style rental houses in Conway. They are a nonprofit. That's what they do for a living. They build these affordable housing rental units, apartment style, and they manage the rentals within those buildings. That's their business model. They don't have to make the profit. But even Avesta is challenged to build. They have to rely on tax credits. And if they don't receive certain tax credits, they can't build these properties. And so even for them, it's difficult. So we have some rental apartment style housing right now, and that's fantastic, but that apartment style housing is not for everybody. And so what we don't have is we don't have single family, duplexes, triplexes, 3-bedroom apartments, homes for rent with a yard for families. And we don't have any of that. And then what we really don't have is affordable housing for sale. And that's where things get really complicated. And I'm an action-based person. We're an advocacy group. I'm an action-based person, so I want things to happen yesterday. But what I'm realizing is that this is a process, and you have to take a step outside and look in and see the progress that's been made. And sometimes things start very slowly, and then they go from really slow to really fast quickly. And a lot of the work's being done now to, I think, speed things up not too far down the road. And so this is the perfect group to me to be kind of the foot soldiers out there. And we have, not only do we have clients who ask questions or local friends, we communicate for a living. That's what we do. And so to educate yourselves on what's happening with affordable housing, what the voters are going to be asked to vote on in the spring in Conway. Even if you're in Madison, this stuff can spill over to your town. Generally, taking the temperature of the community, how receptive is the community to doing these things, and then getting out there, and then when it's time to possibly go to a planning board meeting and speak towards or support something, getting to those meetings and just being visible. Sometimes packing those rooms is all it takes for a planning board to be persuaded. And so what I would encourage everyone to do, it's a really simple thing to do. I would love nothing more than to see 160 of us, or whatever our number is now, become members of Mount Washington Valley Housing Coalition. It's like $25 to become a member as an individual. And then you have access to the website, and then you have access to information. And then through having that information, you can then spread that out to the public. And this spring, a couple of things are happening. the planning board is, they've got some really great affordable housing related zoning initiatives that are going to be on the warrant, and unlike we've ever seen. And the whole idea here is if you can make zoning a little bit more lenient, a little more density for developers to come in and do what they want to do, then the numbers start penciling out. And so we're starting to see some zoning ordinance changes that actually do have a really good shot at attracting developers to doing some of this stuff. And so, what I would encourage you guys to do is to educate yourself on what's happening with zoning, to become board members of the Mount Washington Valley Housing Coalition, or not board members, to become members of the Mount Washington Housing Coalition. And you don't have to be a board member to get involved. We have committees, and oftentimes our committees will ask for support from outside of the committee, kind of the foot soldiers to get out there and help us with different initiatives that we have. And more than anything, I think the perception of us sometimes can be people don't understand how community-based we are. And I think the perception is that we're just greedy people who are selling $1 million homes, which we are selling $1 million homes. But this is an incredible opportunity to be on the positive side of something, to be spreading a positive message that is so critical to the health of our community, and to show that we understand that, and that it's not mutually exclusive. We could be selling homes to second homeowners, but we can also be very involved in the processes that have to take place to bring in affordable housing. So one more time, for like $25 you become members of the Housing Coalition. It shows to the community that we're all supportive of this, and maybe a press release from the Board of Realtors that says that the Mount Washington Board of Realtors supports the initiatives that the Planning Board is bringing forward in this year's warrant. So I guess if anyone has any questions, we can probably answer them real quick, but I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Follow us on Facebook.
Thank you guys very much. That was great. Now, am I right in understanding if you